Hello, I'm Mayor Brad Pike. Welcome to the Explore Eagle podcast, where you can learn more about our city of Eagle and our community. Hi everybody, I'm Brad Pike, the Mayor of Eagle, and we have a special guest with us today. We have Adam Schroeder, which is the Director of Weed, Pest, and Mosquito Abatement for Ada County. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you for the invitation, Mr. Mayor. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, since we're talking about 10 taxing districts with our citizens, you're obviously one of them, and you have less than 1% of the taxes that every resident takes from their property tax goes to mosquito abatement. Besides mosquitoes being extremely irritating with their pesky bites, what are some of the issues mosquito abatement uses the tax dollars to mitigate?
Well, let's talk about the tax district for just a second. It is a special taxing district, the Mosquito Abatement District, so all the funds that are collected by your property taxes can only be used for mosquito abatement, and the Mosquito Abatement District primarily consists of all the incorporated areas in Ada County, so all the cities essentially. So we have a lot that we do, and talking about the levy, if you're talking about a levy for each property, that's like 0.000015543 is our levy rate. So for every 100,000, it's about $1.55.
Okay.
So for a $400,000 house here in Eagle, you might pay $6.20 for mosquito abatement, about the cost of a coffee.
Sure.
Really. And so our primary mission is to prevent the spread of vector-borne diseases, try to help protect people from mosquito bites and anything that mosquitoes bring, that's blood parasites, viruses, all kinds of nasty things. The mosquito is the deadliest animal in the world, killing more than 1 million people every year. So that's what we just try to help protect our constituents from: West Nile virus, Eastern equine encephalitis, St. Louis encephalitis, dog heartworm. We're out here trying to help your pets not get heartworm as well. So we have 3 components of our operations: surveillance, where we go out and we set traps throughout the district and we collect mosquitoes. Then we bring them back into the lab and we count and speciate them, and then we test them for disease. We set out our operations based on what we find out from those surveillance activities. Our larvacide, which is our primary component of service, is about 80% of what we do. We send out crews to find water sources throughout the county, standing water, breeding sites for mosquitoes, which, as you can imagine, there are hundreds of thousands of those, and we do hundreds of thousands of inspections every year. So if our technicians do find larvae in those standing water sites, then we'll treat them with a BTI, which is a naturally occurring bacteria, and that kills mosquito larvae or black fly larvae before they emerge. So 80% of the work we do there is preventative in nature. And then if we happen to miss some sites and we get some calls from folks or district residents who are experiencing mosquito pressure, then we'll send out our adulticide trucks, and they'll do some fogging with the ultra low volume materials after dusk to try to knock down those mosquito populations.
Okay, is there a high season for mosquito abatement, or do you work year-round with the abatement process?
Yeah, so it's primarily seasonal, although we do have insects that overwinter here. But we're crunching numbers and data throughout the winter time, and we're doing our planning operations. The high season for mosquito is, we usually say, Memorial Day to Labor Day. That's May to September, with the peak typically being in July and August.
Okay, and that's good. That's good to know, because most people are curious as to what's going on. What can people do to reduce the opportunity for mosquitoes around their homes and in their yards?
That's a great question, and thanks for inviting us on to talk about that, because this is huge. What we like to talk about is the 3 Ds, especially when you're talking about how to prevent yourself from getting sick from a mosquito bite. 3 Ds being drain, that's drain all standing water from your property, and that includes buckets, children's toys. Mosquitoes can develop in all kinds of sites, and usually it only takes about a teaspoon of water.
Okay.
So that's very important to kind of eliminate those standing water sites throughout your residential area. And in your pastures, Eagle folks have a lot of pastures. Also dress appropriately. So dress meaning light, long sleeve clothing, especially if you're out during dusk and dawn or you're recreating. That's very important. And then defend yourself with a DEET or an EPA-approved insecticide repellent. Those are really important. And then I'd also add another D, which is dial. Dial us if you have a problem with mosquitoes, because we're very happy to come inspect your property and see if we can find that source and eliminate that.
Awesome. That's a great resource that most people don't think about. But so you've kind of alluded to what the public can do to assist you with mitigating mosquitoes. In terms of large areas outside of, because you said like the farmlands and the the low-lying water pockets that are out there, do you guys kind of know the historical areas to look for before development takes place, so you kind of hit those hard? And what's the process there, I guess?
Great question, and absolutely, yes, we do. We catalog all of those sites where we find mosquito development. That is a historical record for us in our database, so we know the history of each site as we go there and inspect and treat those sites. One of the sites you might not think about, though, Mr. Mayor, is that the drain inlets, especially with all the new subdivisions that are being built and all the new development. There are hundreds of new drain inlets, and those drain inlets tend to be mosquito development sites. And we go out there early in the season, and that's including March, April, and we're out there treating those with a long-term BTI like we talked about before to try to help prevent any of those mosquito sites from becoming active too soon.
Great. And I guess in terms of the public kind of assisting you, I mean, there's some areas that you're keeping up on, but if there's a new development or new area, can the public get involved by contacting you guys and saying, hey, there's a large pool of standing water in this area or something? Are you aware of that yet? Is it on your records yet? Or, and just helping you help them, in the mitigation process.
That's exactly right, Mr. Mayor. Communication is key. We appreciate any feedback that we get from our constituents. Besides preventing disease, it's our goal to help increase the quality of life for our district residents. And so if you're out and you're, recreating, or maybe you're at your kid's ball game, you're on a school grounds, or maybe you're at the green belt, any of these public spaces, and you experience these mosquito bites or mosquito pressures, we encourage you to call us so that we can inspect the area to see if we can find those sites and eliminate those.
Awesome. That's great. So, and outside, we kind of alluded to the three topics you're involved with. Weed and pest is also two of them. Do you want to talk a little bit about what are some of those other focused areas you work on?
Well, I wanted to mention that we do have a UAS program, that's Unmanned Aerial Systems Program, for our mosquito abatement. So we're doing larvicide with drones.
Okay.
In those particularly large areas that you spoke about earlier, Eagle Island State Park is one of those where, it used to take us a week, maybe 2 weeks to treat the entire site. Now we're doing that in less than a day.
Wow.
So that's a real big bonus for us, and we've increased our productivity with the UAS program. That's kind of fun, and it's pretty neat to see when those drones are flying and doing larvicide.
Yeah.
But besides that, noxious weed control is another thing that we do. If you have noxious weeds on your property, need help, or maybe if you are experiencing some noxious weed pressure coming onto your property, give us a call. We can certainly help you with that. And then with the Pest Abatement District, that is another special taxing district that is the unincorporated areas of Ada County.
Okay.
So if you are in the Pest Abatement District, you can call us and we will help you control rock chucks and pocket gophers.
Oh, excellent. All right. And those are some of the things as we kind of migrate our way out through annexations and stuff, the public probably doesn't know that they're still having active, animal life going on, and they don't know who to call. So, I mean, that's good that you can get that information out to them. So, I really appreciate the fact that you've taken time to come out of your day to inform us and the public which is going on with the abatement process. But there's one more little thing. Maybe people have pet squirrels in their yards and things like that come up. Is there a process there that you feel is important to interact with the public on squirrels specifically?
Squirrels, not necessarily. I think that if squirrels are an issue for you at your home or causing damage to your home or garden or what have you, I think there are lots of PCOs or pest control operators that you can call. But if you have rock chucks or gophers, we can certainly help you with that, or noxious weeds. I would just say that mosquito abatement in our district, we are a small district, but it is a very science-based industry. We're using the absolute best products that we can. They've been vetted thoroughly by EPA and other researchers, and we are constantly learning and growing and incorporating new techniques to avoid the use of pesticides where absolutely possible. And certainly those pesticides that we do use have been thoroughly vetted and are the safest possible solution and most effective, I might add, for knocking down those mosquito populations and help preventing folks from getting sick. And if there's one thing that I could say for folks that are out there, it's a pretty easy thing. Don't overwater your lawns. Overwatering is one of the major ways that you can produce mosquitoes on your property or around your household. So try not to overwater your lawn and call us if you have any issues. That's 208-577-4646.
Great. Well, Adam, I really appreciate the opportunity for you to come out and explain mosquito abatement, weed, pest control, all those factors, because it's a district that sometimes the public doesn't really understand what's going on with that. So I thought it was imperative to get you here and let you convey to us the importance of how you process through the whole county and how it benefits us as a community. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Explore Eagle Podcast, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve you as the Mayor of Eagle. If you have any topics you would like us to discuss on the podcast, please email us at pio@cityofeagle.org.